Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to assemble this syringe powered robot. Let's get into it. Check that you have all the pieces shown here. You'll also need a hot glue gun, and some pliers to cut through the skewers would be very helpful, though you can do this with a good pair of scissors. Be very careful with the hot glue gun. It can seriously burn you if you touch the tip of the gun or the glue before it cools. It also usually drips, so make sure you put some cardboard or something under it so it doesn't drip all over your table. We'll start with the base. Locate the 4 pieces you can see here. Check over it that everything is cut through cleanly. You might need to move some debris from some of the holes. Slot the support piece into one of the sides, and then the sides into the base. Be careful not to damage the little tabs too much. Glue along all the joints. Just a little bit of glue is plenty, and hold it in place while the glue dries. Next, we're going to assemble the lower arm. So locate these pieces. Check over them again to make sure they're all clean, ready to go. Now you can glue on the support pieces to one of the arms. Make sure they're nice and square and hold them carefully while they dry. Now this step's super important. You must check that when you put on the other side of the arm, you put it on the correct way. You can see here, it would be very easy to put it on upside down and then the holes wouldn't line up and you wouldn't be able to put your skewer through. So check and double check that you're putting it on the right way, and then you can glue that side of the arm into place as well. Next, we're going to assemble the top arm. Locate the pieces shown here, and of course, make sure they're clean and tidy, ready to be assembled together. Assemble this support piece first. Put it onto one side of the arm and glue it into place. And then when it's cooled, you can glue it to the other arm as well. Once that section is cooled and dry, you can assemble the other piece. It should slot nice and tight on top, and a little bit of glue underneath will hold it into place. The next step is to assemble the lower arm onto the base. It's super important that you get the orientation right. These 2 holes need to line up. So this is upside down where that lower hole is at the top. You need the lower hole on that arm to be facing downwards. This is the correct orientation. Once you've double checked you've got that right, feed the skewer through all of the holes to locate the arm into position. Leave a little bit sticking out on each side. You can use some side cutters, some pliers, or a good pair of scissors to snip off what's left of the skewer. Apply a little bit of hot glue to the outside to join the skewer to the arm. This just helps it from falling out. Using less glue is good here as it will make your project look nice and neat. The arm should move freely like this. You can use the same process to attach the upper arm. Feed the skewer through, cut it off at the appropriate length, and use a little bit of hot glue to hold it into place. The main part of the arm is now complete, ready to add the syringes. For this next part, you'll need to locate your syringes, and find this one with 2 holes in the end and put that aside for later. The other 2 syringes are the same with 1 hole through the handle. You need to place a cable tie around the body of the syringe. Cable ties only work one way. The part with the little ripples needs to be on the inside. Don't do it up all the way at this stage. Locate another cable tie and put it through the first one and do that up loosely as well. I call this the double cable tie loop. You can now tighten the main cable tie around the syringe at about the 5mm mark. The other cable tie loop, you still want to leave a little bit of room, enough room for a skewer to fit through, like this. Once you're happy, you can cut off the extra bits of cable tie with your pliers or scissors. You'll need both of these syringes to be the same, so you can prepare the other one now with a double cable tie loop. The first syringe is going to join the base of your robot to the lower arm. Using a skewer, go through one side of the arm of your robot, through the hole in the handle of the syringe, and out the other side of the arm. You can then cut off the extra skewer and glue it into place. The other end of the syringe is going to be attached to the base of the robot. Feed your skewer through one side of the base, through the small cable tie loop, and then out the other side of the base. You can then cut off the extra skewer and glue it into place. Once complete, it should look something like this. The next syringe is attached using the same process. Notice that the body of the syringe is above the skewer on the back side there. The syringe that's going to be used at the top of the robot needs to have 2 holes in the handle and 1 hole in the tab on the body of the syringe. Put a single cable tie through the hole in the body of the syringe and tighten it, leaving just enough room for a skewer to fit. Then do a double cable tie loop as you've done previously on the main body of the syringe. The spacing of that loop needs to match up with the holes on the top arm of your robot. Once you're happy, tighten everything up and trim off the excess. You can now use skewers to insert the syringe into the robot. This is a very similar process as you've done previously. It should look like this when it's complete. Now you need to locate the 2 arms, the split pins, and the short pieces of wire. Place the curved part of the wire up from underneath one of the arms in the furthest hole. I'm squeezing the end of the metal wire over here a little bit, just so that it can't fall off. Do the same process to both arms. Next, compress the syringe the whole way, and then take one of the split pins, put it through your gripper, and through the hole in the top of the robot arm. Turn the robot over and open up the split pin, which will hold the gripper in position. Do this for both of the grippers. Next, feed the ends of the wires through the 2 holes in the end of the syringe. Fully open the syringe and make sure that the grippers are in an open position. You can then hot glue the ends of the wire to the syringe. Once it's dry, your syringe grippers should open and close as the syringe body moves. Next, you want to measure and cut your airline tubing. You need one length at 30 centimeters, one at 40 centimeters, and then whatever is left over should be between 60 and 70 centimeters. Open up your 3 unmodified syringes and connect the end of one syringe to the end of each piece of airline tubing. Now you want to prepare some water. It works best to have 3 different colours of water using food dye. That just lets you know which syringe controls which part of the robot a bit easier. Normal water also works fine. You want to fill up the syringe and the tube with as little air bubbles as possible. Filling and refilling the syringe multiple times and holding the syringe in the upright position when you're removing the liquid removes most of the air bubbles. If you leave air bubbles in, it's kind of going to have a squishy feel and it won't function as well. We'll start by connecting the bottommost syringe on the robot. Compress the arm fully so there's no air in that syringe. And then connect the shortest airline tubing to the base of the syringe. This can be quite hard to access, but once you have it started and can open up the arm, you should have a better go at it. As you can see, moving the syringe will now move the robot arm. Complete the same process for the second syringe, ensuring there's no air bubbles. The final syringe is slightly different. You can't fully compress the syringe, so get it as far as you can, and then remove some of the water from the corresponding syringe. You want the air bubble in the syringe with the water in it to be the same size as the air bubble in the syringe on the robot. That will ensure that you can't overinflate the syringe, which will cause the airline tube to pop off. Your grip should now move, and the robot is complete. It's time to test it.